First of all, thank you guys for jumping on tonight. I know that everybody is still, if you're like me, you're still adjusting from vacation and Christmas, and it's really cold and wet and dreary outside. And so I'm just glad you guys are on tonight. Thank you. Okay, so I am going to start with talking about social awareness. Tonight we talked about self-awareness and self-management last week or 2 weeks ago. And anyways, just how important that is to, growing our business and understanding ourselves and understanding our personalities and what holds us back personally. But I kind of want to move to talking about other people now and our interactions with them and how important this is to our businesses. Okay, so social awareness is basically observing the actions of others and coming to a better understanding of others. Sorry, guys, this lighting is... Turn this way. That's much better. Okay. So it's looking outward and observing and learning about others and tuning into their emotions. And so the more aware of other people we are and their actions and their personalities, the better you're going to be at this business, because you're going to know how to talk to people a lot better. Remember that when we're having our conversations, that this is not about you. This is not about your personality or the way you like to say things or anything like this. This is about the other person. So we have to mirror what they give us, so to speak. So I'm going to first of all, tell you a story that kind of made me think of this when I was reading this book. Just to kind of give you an idea of how important this is. And then I'll tell you some tips on that. So I used to work at Cracker Barrel in Valdosta, Georgia for about a year. And I learned very quickly that my tips were based off of the way I interacted with people. It had to do with my image. Like if I wore lipstick, I got way better tips. Say what you want to say, but I got way better tips when my image looked better. When I interacted with people that wanted conversation, like they were really talking to me and asking me questions, and I really spent time on them, they loved that. People that were there, other kind of people that were there, like that did not want conversation, I would not talk to them very much. I was very got to the point. What would you like? Here's a suggestion. I would refill their drinks without them even knowing I was there. I picked up very quickly that every table was different, and what each person wanted was different. If I treated every customer the same, then my tips would probably not be the best. So this is kind of the same when we're talking with people over Facebook, really. The thing that we have working against us is we don't know their body language always. Like when you're talking with somebody in person, you can really pick up on their body language, on their tone of voice, on a lot of things that kind of give you a little bit more of where they're at. But over Messenger, we have to really pick up on their wording and also the length of their message. So here's just a few things that I have learned in the past year. Some people are like some people are very conversational, like they want a good conversation. So be conversational with those people. So if you are an introvert and you are more of like a straight to the point kind of person, you're gonna have to like open up a little bit more and really be involved in the conversation. So if they want to talk about their dogs a little bit and how much they love their dogs, talk about their dogs, okay? If they want to talk about their babies, I'm a mama. I love to talk about my babies all day long. Talk about their babies for a little bit before you really get into, giving them a solution to their health. If they've, if you're, and then going back to their health, if they are sitting there pouring out their soul to you about how they've had, struggles over over the last 10 years they're, pouring out their heart to you, really empathize with them, ask some more questions and really draw that out a little bit. And kind of like what Krista Casey, she's the Sapphire ambassador, she said, stay in their misery with them a little bit. Don't just jump right to a solution, because some people just need to talk about, their misery a little bit more. If they send you short messages, like short and to the point messages, then make your questions back to them short and to the point. So mirroring is really important. The law of mirroring is what it's called, but mirror what they do with you. So if they are, again, if they're very like long-winded, love detail, you can give them a little bit more of that back. If they are short and to the point, stay short and to the point. Don't give them a long, detailed, message about the BioCleanse and how it can help with so many things. That is one thing I had to learn early on. Not everybody's into detail. Know your personality and know that not everyone has the same conversation style as you. So we all have our certain ways of wording things, our certain way of putting emojis or whatever. So pick up on how they're speaking to you and you try to mimic that back. Still be you, still be yourself, but remember that people will respond to you better if you are like them, if you really are speaking more their language. So if they're a blue personality and they're fun, you can throw in a GIF or some humor to lighten it up. Chad, he is all blue, and he tells me when he's at work that he sends gifts to his coworkers, and they love it because it just kind of adds some humor into it, So if you've got somebody and they're a blue personality, they haven't responded to you in a while, maybe throw a GIF in or something, say, hey, haven't heard from you, something funny like that, just to get their attention. Or if they're a green personality, then send them a video, send them another informational video. Greens love information and, facts and things like that. Or if they're a yellow personality like me, then be heartfelt, be genuine, speak to their heart. People love that. I'm trying to find my next page here. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So some tips, some more tips. Step into their shoes and empathize. You guys, we've all got things going on. I think this past year has been the roughest year. Really the roughest year. I can say that. Adjusting to 2 babies is not easy, and growing a business in the midst of that is not easy. But I have many times had to step outside of my life and myself and really step into other people's shoes and see where they're at. And so remember that other people need you to empathize with them. Seek the whole picture. And the only way you're going to get the whole picture, as in what health issues they have, what medications they're on, whatever it is asking questions. Ask more questions and speak less. Listen more, speak less. I think that was, oh, and use their name. Always use their name. It is the sweetest sound that everybody can hear is their own name. It feels good to hear your name, and it feels like you are being listened to and appreciated. So that's a little tip. And then always turn conversation to a positive and leave it on a positive. So even if somebody is responding in, if they're responding with a tone of voice that is not what you would, like it for it to be, then always end on a positive note, and always leave them wanting to come back to you. Because when they do say yes, you want them to come to you. It's not about convincing, it's about relationship. It's about always remembering to leave the conversation in a good light. Okay, now we're going to go into relationship management real quick. And basically, I think this really relates more once you sign somebody up. It's really easy to sign somebody up, but when you sign somebody up, the relationship management part is the work. Okay, that is where you put the work in, because that takes time and effort to really get to know that person, to get to know how they respond to messages, to know what their quirks are, things like that. And that takes emotional intelligence. That takes us kind of picking up on those cues and things like that. So here's a few tips for relationship management. Be open and be curious. So if you don't know something, if you just signed somebody and you haven't talked to them since like you were 5, you don't really know that person, okay? And the way that let's say they're wanting to do the business with you. The way that you get to know that person is by asking questions, almost like pretend like you're on the first date. If you don't know that person, you ask questions about them. When you take them out on a date, you ask about their life, about their kids, about what's going on in their life. So just remember that it's okay that you don't know everything about the person or how they respond to what's their communication style. But again, it all goes back to asking questions so that you can really understand them. Avoid giving mixed signals. Feelings express truth. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Feelings express truth. I'll give you an example. I had somebody that I signed up last year. I just had Evie. I was really tired and really, really grumpy. And I remember I responded to her like just kind of very bluntly. I think it was probably like 10 o'clock at night and Evie was needing me. So I was just like, here's the answer, basically. Somebody had messaged me. And she totally took it very wrong, and I wasn't meaning to come across wrong. I was just trying to get the message out quickly. But I wasn't being aware of my emotions and my words and how it was coming across. And of course, I had every reason to do that quickly. I probably should have just said, hey, can I get back to you tomorrow? I'm really tired. But again, our words matter, and our feelings, the way we come across people really, really does matter. Also, people trust what they see over what they hear. So that goes back to our posting. If you are posting about your life and about if you're just sharing this in a really, I think, organic way, I guess that's a good word, organically, I think that's so much better, because I think if we come across salesy, then they're not going to know who you are, and then they're also not going to believe you're not going to attract good quality business builders. You have to put out quality if you want to attract quality. And so again, people trust what they see over what they hear. Let's see. I lost my page here. Okay, have an open door policy. Okay, what I mean by that is you may have somebody that comes to you or that you reach out to about Plexus, and you guys are completely opposites. You don't have the same culture, you don't have the same life, but don't like assume that they won't be a good fit for your team. Diversity is okay, and you can definitely again go back to asking questions and really learning that person so that you can help them feel welcomed. So always keep an open door policy and don't limit yourself. Let's see, go back to one more thing. Okay, acknowledge the other person's feelings. There have been so many times where I have struggled in this, I've personally gone through a hard time in this business. We all go through those, by the way. We all have our months. And I know the times that Abby has acknowledged my feelings is the times where I feel heard. We all need to feel heard. So remember that if somebody comes to you and they're having a problem, that is not about you, okay? It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them, and you just need to acknowledge it. You don't have to fix the problem. You just need to acknowledge it and then ask what you can do to help them. Especially as leaders, we are troubleshooters. We are problem solvers. But ask what they need help with so that you can give the right answer or that you can direct them in the right direction. Okay, that is all I have for relationship management. And I personally asked Jordan, we're going to start doing a just kind of like an overview of 2 products at the end of each call. And I asked Jordan to do that for us tonight. And then we'll kind of go through and I'll quickly ask everybody how your week was and we can answer any questions. So go ahead, Jordan.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Maybe? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. All right, I took some notes on my phone just so I wouldn't forget anything because I'm always learning something new. So I'm going to talk about the BioCleanse first. Okay, so I love BioCleanse. I don't think that everyone knows how great of a product it is, but it has magnesium in it, of course, but the difference between magnesium citrate, which is what a lot of people take to totally cleanse themselves, like what I give at the hospital, that's so harsh on your colon, so harsh. So that's why when people hear like cleanse, they're like, oh no, because it's going to give me like massive diarrhea. And the mag citrate does. But this is a gentle cleanse because the magnesium in the BioCleanse paired with the vitamin C turns it into magnesium azurate, which is a much gentle cleanser. So it's not as harsh on your system. I thought that was pretty cool. And also it oxygenates your cells and also turns them alkaline. So a lot of diseases can't live in alkaline environments like cancer. So anybody that has like a history of like cancer in their family, this is so great for them because cancer cells multiply rapidly. So the BioCleanse in it just kind of like knocks that environment out altogether, which I thought was really cool.
I love that.
Just a little tidbit of information. Let's see. Also helps with muscle cramps too. I get really bad like calf cramps, not anymore. So that's it for the BioCleanse, which I think that's one of the products that I really think goes like unnoticed. Like a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not interested in a cleanse, but they truly don't understand like what it actually does for your body. So that's one of my top products I love. The next is going to be the Probio 5, which I also think is fabulous. And what I just found out about that today is that it's equivalent to 21 cases of yogurt is how much is to one Probio 5 capsule. And I thought that was really crazy. But our probiotic is different from everyone else's because, first of all, it doesn't have to be refrigerated. And if it has to be refrigerated, I'm sure y'all saw that on Abby's page and stuff. You know, I won't get into all the details of that. But ours is freezer dried. So as soon as it like goes to your stomach, then that's when it starts actively working. Whereas the other ones, you know, your body is 98.6 degrees, so then it takes all that time to start working. And then by the time it gets to the gut, you know, you might as well have not even taken it. And so ours actually has 5 strands of good bacteria and antifungal and digestive enzymes, which is so great because you will not find another one like that. I've even asked some of the pediatricians here in Valdosta. They don't know of any like that. So I definitely recommend it to everyone. On top of it helping with the digestive issues, it can also help with your skin. I know I give it to Weston and his eczema clears up. Dilla, I'm sure you take it and your eczema has cleared up. I also give it to him too because we're starting out new foods and I'm always scared about the whole allergy thing. We haven't had an allergic reaction to anything, and that is because of your gut health. Also, helps with better sleep. You know, your melatonin is found in your gut. And that's why people with sleep issues and stuff definitely need these combos. And then there's something else I was fixing to say, and I totally lost track. Okay, well, if I think of it, then I'll say it later.
That's great, Jordan.
So that's just my little spiel, super quick. Super short.
And I agree with you. I think the BioCleanse is definitely like the unsung hero. It's like that is, I can't live without it, you guys. Seriously. Like, used to go a week without going to the bathroom. Not good at all. Not healthy at all. So, anyway. Thank you, Jordan. By the way, for those of y'all that don't know, Jordan is our resident RN. Our Plexus RN.
Yes.
She's going to nurse practitioner school and knows everything about these ingredients, and I love it. Like, love it.
I'm definitely more for products, not for the business.
That's okay. I love it. Okay, so I want to hear from everyone tonight really quickly. It can, like, again, it can be anything, but related to what we talked about tonight, what's one thing you learned that kind of will help you for the future? We'll ask that question. So, Miss Ute, you're first on my screen.
So you just want to know how the week went, or?
Just like one thing that kind of one tidbit that you learned from tonight, and then like how you will apply that from here.
From tonight, the mirroring was really good. And to tune into their personality more than letting your personality be the dominant thing. So that was good. The same thing about what you were saying about the tips. That really is true, that you are tipping the waitress according to how you relate to her. Yes. So I've noticed that a lot of time at Sonic, you know, when the person comes and they're kind of bubbly and, you know, because that's what I like. I tend to give them a higher tip than if they're grumpy. So, so yes, the relationship, I think that's probably the main things that I took away from tonight. Yes. A lot of the things are kind of like things that I learned in counseling. It's coming back, so.
Yes. By the way, you guys, I used to do Miss Ute's hair back, like just a side note. I used to do her hair when I was a hairdresser and talk about emotional intelligence. You have to have emotional intelligence to do hair as well. So, like really tapping into people, like you were saying, like, you know, tapping into their personality. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's see, Michelle, you're next.
Well, tonight was very interesting because these are some of the things that in a different life, I used to run a treatment center for emotionally disturbed adolescent boys and girls. And so we used a lot of this same kind of technique in communicating with them as we communicate with our in-network marketing. So what I love the relationship management part because it's always great to be open and courteous, but it's kind of hard sometimes when, like you said, on Messenger. And that's why I think I like to do the voice calls or face-to-face way more than just typing in a message and hitting send, because then I can kind of feel their need and they can feel what I am sharing too from my heart. So I think this is a great topic. I think what we're doing is perfect because it is our emotions that really take us where we need to go in this business, and how we feel about ourselves kind of does express a lot about us. So I just love tonight.
Awesome. That's great. And yes, like if you have more time to get out and really have more coffee dates, go for it. I have 2 girls at home, so I can't always, but if you can, like face-to-face is definitely always best. But you can become a master at messaging. I have done every bit of my business building, probably like 95% of my business building through Messenger. And I tell you, you will get good at conversation, that is for sure, and good at using these.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Absolutely. Well, you're obviously doing a great job, Michelle. Summer, you're next.
Okay, well, I feel like the ones I had thought about were mentioned, but also just you kind of alluded to just how we're posting even, and how, you know, I think that's something that I know I'm continuously reevaluating, like, am I coming across salesy, you know, or too much just facts. Like, it's good to put facts out there in the science, but I know for me, I'm always looking at, am I balanced enough? Like, am I making it like, am I throwing up a bunch of graphics, you know, that maybe aren't as appealing, or am I doing a good job of making it more personal? And if I do use a graphic, make it something that's just more intriguing or beautiful or well designed, you know, and then trying to make, you know, that balance of, I don't always have time to write an original post, but still making sure I have some original ones in there. That are storytelling, you know, telling part of my story or friend's story. So I liked your comment on that, and making sure that how we're also presenting ourselves on our Facebook page, whether it's Plexus or non-Plexus, that it's genuine, and it, you know, it's something that's continuing that message of, I mean, just being aware, I guess, of how we're communicating. So.
Absolutely. Remember, red lipstick got me better tips. Just saying. Image does matter, and believe me, I'm a yellow, so like, but I could care less about image, honestly, but I have learned that what you put out, it matters, and it does attract certain people. So you want to attract good quality people that want to do the business with you. So okay, and Jordan.
I guess that's why I'm not attracting anybody, because I'm like Hot Mess Express over here with my posting and all of my pictures and stuff. No red lipstick. No.
It's not all about the red lipstick. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't.
I was going to say, you know, I'm rocking like the mom bun, you know, the no makeup. Like, have I even changed my clothes today? I don't even know.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, but that's relatable for a lot of moms, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
and that
relatable is
totally
good.
attracts moms. Yeah, you just throw your mom bun post up. Everybody else will love it.
Relatable's good.
Relatable is good. It's not like, yeah.
Definitely.
Perfection is not good. Relatable is golden.
Well, I'm definitely working, what you said about the posting and stuff, and especially I know that we've personally talked about branding and like making your brand and stuff. And I think that, that's something that's super important for this business too, so that you actually can relate to people that are kind of like you. However, it is, of course, good to have different kind of personalities on your team, because I think that kind of makes it as a whole. But I also like what you said about the whole messaging. Like if someone messages you like super short, like don't beat around the bush, because I have noticed that like totally sends them in the opposite direction. Like that's not what they're looking for. So definitely, reading their personality and how they're messaging you. Like even though if you message them something, super long and heartfelt to begin with, and they're just like, how much is this? Then you're like, okay, well, I know how to, word and try to kind of talk to you or whatever, super short, super simple, stuff like that. So I think that was kind of refreshing to go back over that, just, not to beat yourself up over it, just kind of read into it and just be like, all right, well then you're not worth my novel that I usually send people, but, here's like a couple words, hope you like it, kind of.
Yeah. Here's a quick video, because I won't be explaining magnesium ascorbate to you.
Exactly. Let me just give you this literally 1 minute long video. It's 1 minute.
Yeah. And oh my goodness, like I just want you guys to know, when I started out, like I'm a yellow personality, but I was totally spewing green all over, because I just loved the ingredients and just what they were doing, and I thought everybody needed to hear how it worked, and I just learned very quickly that that's a small percentage, very small percentage that likes.
I will even say, like, even some nurses that I have sent messages to, even they don't care about the ingredients. So
Wow.
like, even the ones that you would think are a green personality, they are straight like to the point, like, how much is this? Is this going to work? What do I need to do?
Wow.
Like, they don't even care what they're putting into their body. So, you definitely have to read into that before you start, listing all the ingredients like I usually do.
It's okay. It took me in summer, like, I think at least 6 months to learn that. So, okay. Sammy? Thanks, Jordan.
I think the same thing as everybody, just the overall reading the overall conversation, to see how the people are, how they're taking it, whether they want to be short and to the point or they want more information. And I have a lot of problems with, they want information, I give it to them, then I ask them, well, what did you think? And then there's crickets. What's going on? Then trying to get them to answer might take a few days, but I keep trying to get them to answer hey, what'd you think? What's going on? But yeah, I think just reading the overall conversation.
Yeah. And that is why we're talking about emotional intelligence, because it is even more important with our messages that we have some emotion and we have some good reading, like reading what they're giving to us. And really it just goes back to asking more questions. So, like, asking a question about their last post or their kids, opening up the conversation again, showing that you're a real person behind the computer and that you really do care about them. I think that helps too. So, because the truth of this business is, in order to go, I mean, you could totally make, 5 coffee dates a day, but I don't have time for that, and I know a lot of other people don't have time for that. And the people that have made it to the top of this company are not people that have had 10 coffee dates a day. They have cold message. So We know this works. It is just about really learning people, and it really does help to know about those 4 personality colors. So if you haven't, thanks, Summer. So if you have not gone and looked into that video about Big Al Schreider 4 personality colors, you need to do that. It is so good. It will help you understand people so much better, and you can kind of categorize people based on their conversation, and you can speak to them so much easier that way. So, okay, guys. Well, the video is about to cut out, so thank you guys for jumping on tonight. Jordan, thanks for the product overview. I appreciate it. All right. Bye, ladies.
Bye.